and welcome back to my channel. I am Oluwaseyi Salako, and on this channel I give you all tricks and tips on all things trendy and crafty. For those who are new, I'm glad to have you. For those who are returning, thank you so very much. For all that were sending me messages, I was on holidays. I didn't run away from YouTube. I just went on holidays because I needed the holiday. Thank you so very much for all the love shown to me. I am glad to be back. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make this trendy peekaboo t-shirt. This t-shirt has been very trendy recently on Instagram and TikTok, and I have seen a lot of videos too on YouTube. I wouldn't disappoint you, I would bring you tricks and tips on how to make this t-shirt. So let's get straight into the tutorial. I'm going to be making a green t-shirt, the same design, but I have swapped the flower on this design. This is a sunflower. Now I've mixed it with this reddish green flowers on the lady. This design I got from design bundles, and I've been swapping the flowers on the design by myself. I've been using flowers from Google and some other places where I get my own design. So what we need for this tutorial, we need a t-shirt. You either have a cotton t-shirt or a polyester t-shirt, whichever. This new trend is really cool because you can use any t-shirt you have. It doesn't have to be any particular t-shirt. But the most important thing for this design to work is your polyester fabric. You need 100% polyester fabric, preferably, because the more polyester you have, the better your design comes out. So I have tried using satin, but I did not like the feel of satin on my t-shirt, because this is the third t-shirt I'm making. It's not the first one I'm making, it's the third one. So I'm bringing you all the tricks and tips and what I did, what worked and what did not work for me. So the next thing we need is our scissors, or you call it shears, or your rotary cutter, whichever one you choose to use. But I'll tell you the scissors is more effective than the rotary cutter, and I'll show you why I said so. And also you need strips of heat and bond. Strips of heat and bond. Before we go further on this, with the heat and bond, I have done this t-shirt with just heat and bond. But if you are wary, or if you're worried about how it will hold up in the wash, you can sew it round. It is allowed and it will still look nice. Especially if you're selling this t-shirt, I would advise give it an extra stability, like something like that, just to be sure your customers are not going to say, oh, it's peeling off or something, because the heat and bond is really good, but then people don't always go according to the care instruction you give. Customers might not go according to your care instructions. So the best thing you can do is to hold it down by sewing it round, which gives it more credibility. Now, with the strips, let's start to put it together. Now, for this t-shirt, the first thing I want to do is to sublimate my 100% polyester fabric, which is the insert that is going to be inside the t-shirt. I am using my crushed Vevor 100% polyester fabric. I have started using this crushed Vevor for like 5 months now, and I've gotten a lot of good reviews on this, and I am happy with it, so I'm happy to use it on my t-shirt as well. I tried a satin print, and I don't know, I just did not like it. Apart from the fact that the satin was fraying a lot. There was a lot of fraying going on with the satin. I didn't like the shine. It was too shiny. I didn't like the sheen to it. So this material does not fray that much. But if you're worried about fraying, you can put fray check at the edges of the fabric, and that would hold it from fraying. But today I'm using my crushed Vevor, which I've been using for quite some time. If you check my videos, especially the one on that cushion cover, I have used this crushed Vevor. it looks so luxurious, and I just like the feel on any of the things I've been using it for. So I decided I am going to use this crushed velour as well. It's the one on the t-shirts I'm putting on, and it looks so very nice. I am happy with it, I have to say. So in order to do that, I want to lint roll my fabric. It's always a good practice to lint roll. So I'm going to be lint rolling my fabric. Always remember to lint roll. Even if you do not see any lint, it's still good to lint roll. It gives you a clean, sublimated finish. And that's what we want, especially for those of us that sells our craft. So that is that. With this crushed velvet, I would like to bring that. It has a bit of hair on it. I just like to flatten it before sublimating. Now, I'll put my design. This I've made a bit, the fabric is a bit bigger than my design, because when I put the heat and bond on the side, I still want my design to show through properly, not be covered by the heat and bond. And that's why I've done that. So I'm going to be taping it down with some heat resistant tape. You don't really need it, but I'll prefer not to have any kind of ghosting, because this t-shirt now is going to my daughter. I have one already, so I'm giving this to my daughter and also making it a sample for my Etsy shop in case anyone wants this as well. So that is it. I have protected my heat press at the bottom. I'm going to protect it on the top as well. So I'll put a butcher paper on top in such manner, and then I'm going to be sublimating these at 400 for 60 seconds. 400 for 60 seconds. That is the temperature I find to be good for this heat press. And my ink is Printer's Jack ink. That's the ink I use. And this paper is Ink Expert paper. Although I'm going to be changing this paper immediately this paper finish. It's not because I do not like the paper, but it's because I find it difficult to know to differentiate the front from the back. It has no marking to tell me which is the back. Now I want to attach the heat and bond strips to my design. Make sure the design is facing up. That was one of the mistakes I made. One of my designs, I actually put the strip at the back. It wasn't meant to be at the back. It's meant to be in the front because it's going to be facing front on the t-shirt. So the rough side is the side we put down while the paper side is up. So we put the rough side down and leave the paper side up because we're going to peel the paper side off the design. Now, the heat and bond doesn't need a lot of heat, and that is why I have actually switched off my heat press so it doesn't get too hot for the heat and bond, because the heat and bond doesn't need that much heat. 400 is too much for the heat and bond. It's definitely too much for it. So I'm going to be using less than 400 to apply the heat and bond. And for 5-6 seconds, it should be okay. It should be okay. Please remember the strips go in the front. Do not make the same mistake I made, putting the strip at the back at first. That's a tip for you when you're making your own peekaboo t-shirt. Do not put the strip at the back of the design. It stays in front of the design. And I will be covering this with another butcher paper. My heat press is not on. The heat on it is hot enough to do the heat and bond. That is why I didn't put it on. And for 5-6 seconds, it should be okay. Now, let's see if it adhered. Yes, it did. What we want to do is wait for it to cool before I peel it. While we're waiting for the strips on the heat and bond to cool down, I would like to prepare my t-shirt. This is the fun part, and you're going to enjoy this when you do it. So now I have this cardboard just from my Amazon orders. I didn't buy anything fancy. And I'm going to be putting my t-shirt inside the cardboard. I just made a form myself from cardboard. Now my t-shirt is in there. I want to make sure it's in the middle of it. There. And I would like to put the design on it to see where it should go. Should come somewhere there. So I would be bringing it up further than our 4 fingers. 3 fingers I'll be doing this time. And eyeballing it so it's in the middle. So while this is in the middle of the t-shirt, now I want to mark where to cut. But make sure this is in the middle of the t-shirt. So I'm going to be using my chalk, which this is the tailor's chalk, to mark where to cut. I'll just mark around the design. Then I know I cannot go outside that markings. I will know I cannot go outside the markings by putting it. Now, I have from here to here, and I can cut whichever way I want. I can make it vertically or horizontally, whichever way I want. But I've decided I'm cutting it this way, and I'm going to avoid going near the marks. The last one I did a 1-inch strip, which is the one I'm putting on, this one. But then I want something bigger this time, so I'm going to be going 1.5 inches. So 1.5 inches will be somewhere like here. And you see why I said the scissors is better? Because when you do this now, it just pulls the t-shirt. It pulls it so much that I do not like the feel of this. So I'm just using this to mark it. I'll use it to mark it, and I'll use my scissors to cut it properly. My strips are 1.5 inches. So they are much bigger than the one I'm putting on. I'm using my rotary cutter to give it an opening so my scissors can just go inside it. One and a half inches apart is what I'm doing. Now that I have it like that, then I'm going to take my scissors, because I believe the scissors does a better job. So I'm just going to open it that way. If you like, you can just use the scissors from the start. I find the scissors works more than the rotary cutter, and you'll be sure you're not cutting through to the other side when you use the scissors. But with the rotary cutter, you're not sure, you might be cutting through to the other side of the t-shirt. Even though I have a cardboard at the back of this now, I might still cut if I'm not careful. Anyways, so I'm opening it with, I'm going to put the design first before stretching. Now we do not need this anymore. The t-shirt is inside out. If you prefer the smaller strips, the smaller cut in the front, it's okay. I did a smaller one at first, and I think I want to try the bigger strips now, and that's why I've got 1.5 inches. The first one I did was less than an inch. Now the final step is to adhere the design onto our t-shirt. I'll be peeling back the heat and bond. You peel the paper to reveal the shiny side that has been attached onto the design. So now I want to face this down and adhere it. So I'll be facing it down this way. I'm making sure it's covering all the openings. I'll make sure it covers all the opening that I made. And then I'll glue it to the t-shirt with it. The heat and bond is going to glue it to the t-shirt. So the heat and bond is in front this way, and now we're adhering it to the t-shirt. And that's how to make the peekaboo t-shirt. It doesn't take much to do, and it really comes out really nicely. With the one I have on me, I have had a lot of compliments. I only made it today, and I've had so much compliments on it already. So that should be ready. Now that I've adhered the design to the t-shirt, it's now time to pull the strips. This is the way I did mine. You can do yours anyway. Maybe pull the strings, pull the t-shirt before adhering it. But I believe this gives me the best way to do it. So now this is what we have. And what do you think about this? This is really nice, I think. What do you think? Please leave a comment about this now. Would you like do you prefer the smaller strips, or would you prefer the bigger strips? Which would you prefer? Thank you so much for staying to the end of this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.